Hey folks, Colton Woods here. I wanted to bring you guys a really quick video that got inspired by a photo we posted this morning on our Facebook and Instagram stories. It was this photo right here of a horse named Little Man that is in training with us. We posted this photo this morning, and as you can see, he is hobbled in this photo. So we had hobbled Little Man this morning. It was his first session, and we got, of course, a lot of questions sent directly to our inbox asking us, why are you doing this? What is the purpose? What are you thinking? Like, not in a bad way, but people just wondering, why is this horse's legs tied together? And so I'm going to show you guys a photo of what it looks like up close. So here, this is the same horse. It is Little Man. This is the first photo that we posted, and this is a close-up here of Little Man with us hobbling him. Now, why would we want to do this with our horses? Well, I'm going to start with a functional aspect. Out on ranches out west, cowboys have their horses out on these big open ranges. A lot of times they're at cow camps, so they're moving cattle around. And anyway, they're with their horses, and a lot of times these areas have nowhere to tie their horses up. So they still need to secure their horses, whether because maybe they're fixing fence or they're working with cattle and they're on foot, but they don't want their horses to run off necessarily. So they needed a way to be able to secure them because they don't have anywhere to tie them up. So hobbling is a very functional aspect in the fact that we can teach our horses to be hobbled, which is exactly this photo here. This photo is an example of Little Man with a soft cotton lead rope. This is a rope that used to be a cotton 10-foot lead rope that I simply undid, rebraided into a 3-plait, just like you would do with your horse's mane or tail, rebraided it, and turned it into a soft rope to teach for hobbling. But anyway, guys, so these cowboys had a functional aspect of doing this. Also, if cowboys or even trail riders and people that pack out and camp overnight, a lot of times there's not places to tie your horses, or you still want your horses to be able to graze overnight. So you can hobble your horses. They usually hang a little bell there on their hobbles or around their neck, and that way in the morning when you get up, you can actually be able to locate your horses. And guys, even with hobbles, whether it's a 2-way or a 3-way, 2-way being the 2 front feet, 3-way being the 2 front feet, and then back to 1 back foot, horses can still move. It is not meant to keep them completely in one location. That's why we would tie them to something if we wanted to keep them in one place. Hobbling is meant to basically slow them down. I have seen it. I've had horses, and I've watched other people's horses canter at a full gallop or just completely take off in a set of hobbles. So it is not meant to slow them down. Now, this horse particularly, he will experience Little Man here. Cute little fellow, little red roan horse. He's going to be adorable. So he is going to be more in your dressage, western dressage, cowboy dressage style format. And he will be ridden outside and trail riding. We're going to give him a really good foundation. That's what he's here for. And so why would we have opted to do hobble training with him? Well, I've worked with a lot of horses that have grown up in a lot of different kinds of environments. And hobble training a horse can be a phenomenal thing for them. Outside of the practical aspect of riding horses to places you don't have to tie them up, the other big thing is that we all turn our horses out, or they will be trail riding, and there is a potential that they might pick up a piece of down wire or a piece of rope or something and get hung up in something. So we take our horses through a process before we tie their legs together. We don't just slap this together and say, best of luck to you. No, that wouldn't be right. So what we actually do, guys, is that we teach our horse to lead by all 4 feet. That's right. We take a very soft rope, like a cotton rope, just like we use to hobble him, and we teach him to lead by all 4 feet, just like we would initially teach a horse to lead in general. And this really helps prepare these horses to be hobbled. And so when we're taking our horses, if we turn them out and then they get caught in a piece of wire or a piece of rope or something that could really cause some damage, potentially even a life-threatening injury, you know, and I've seen some horses take themselves down to their cannon bones or through their suspensories or everything like that. If we can hobble train those horses, then when they feel the pressure that comes around their leg, instead of the natural fight or flight instinct to fight it all the time, what they can do is go, hey, I can give to this pressure and wait. I can give to this pressure and wait. And that is exactly what the hobble training will do, is that when their feet are tied together and they pick up a foot, they go, oh, there's pressure. stand here and wait. And then they get a little antsy and they go, they feel pressure between their two legs and they wait and they give. And so that's a very life important skill for horses if we're going to be trail riding or turning our horses out. We want our horses to have that mentality of that if I get hung up in something with my front or my back feet, that I can stop, I can give to that pressure, don't fight it, and then I can wait for somebody to come help me get out of this. All right, so that is a real big part of this. Now, I have discovered along training horses for other people that there is a massive mental benefit to teaching horses to be hobbled. Okay, so we go through this process. It's not a rush process, and we want our horses in the right frame of mind before we hobble them, but also it can help us get a healthy frame of mind for our horses. So we've taken them through, we've helped them start to learn how to lead by their feet. They understand how to yield to pressure and the sensation of having something around their foot. When they feel that pressure, they understand that they need to yield to that and that they don't need to fight it or anything like that. Once we've taken them through that process, then we can go to hobbling them, their front feet, their two front feet to one back foot, their back feet. We can do it all different sorts of ways. And it's really to get that horse some experience. Little man in this situation, the reason I felt driven to go ahead and hobble him is because he has been very stimulated throughout his life. He's had vet work done on him. He's had to have people being hands-on with him throughout his life. And he is also the first foal that the owner has ever raised. And with being that first foal, there were some things that have taken place that may not always be the most beneficial to him long term. So that's okay. That's behind us. And he's got a fantastic owner that is here to support him. And she's learning along the way. And we're here to help that. And so one of the things that we're having to go back and help work with little man on is the fact that because he's so used to anytime people are around, he is so used to being stimulated, and so he gets very busy-minded. He starts rummaging through things. He's chewing on the lead rope, and he just doesn't hang out. But what he does do is when he's done with his session and he's in his stall, that he crashes. He crashes and he sleeps hard. Because when he's out of his stall and he's around people, he's just a do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. He's like a little busy bee all the time. Well, I need little man to start to understand that even when he's with people, there's times where when you're with people that you're going to go to work, and there's times when you're with people when you can rest. And right now he hasn't quite figured out that when he's with people that there is a rest period. And so we've started riding little man, and he's kind of like the people that are always glorifying being busy all the time. All right. He'll hang out for a second, and then he's like, okay, I gotta go, I gotta move my feet. And so there's certain training aspects that we can work with him on under saddle and on the groundwork side that'll help this. But what I found with a hobble training is that when I can hobble a horse and they're prepared for that, that initially we only start off with just a few minutes. We don't leave them there all day by any means. I mean, he was hobbled for the first time today when we posted that photo, and he might have been hobbled from between 3 and 4 minutes. It was not even close to 5 minutes. It was probably about 3 to 4 minutes, of being hobbled. And he did really good. He tested the hobbles out. He stood there, he licked and chewed, and when he dropped his head and he started to bat his eyes and really start to relax and exhale, I went over and unhobbled him, because I want to promote the fact that he can relax. And when he's hobbled, he's not tied to anything and he's not next to anything. So he can't really get into anything. He just has to sit there and kind of go into his little Buddhist monk mindset and just go, I can relax. It's okay. It's all good. And I can relax because he's so used to being stimulated when people are around. So I've had this happen with several warm bloods coming into training, and I do this with a lot of horses that I find are overstimulated because it can tremendously benefit them mentally. Certainly, now my primary reason for hobble training horses is because of the mental benefit. There's a lot of physical benefit to it as far as keeping a horse safe if they got hung up in anything, or if the horse is eventually going to go camping or be out in an area where they need to be secured without anywhere to tie them up. Great, there's skills there. There will be skills there inadvertently, but my main focus with a lot of my horses is the mental strength and the confidence, the understanding, the relaxation that a horse has, because if we have the mind, the physical becomes very easy. But if we're trying to get the physical and the mind's not with us, then it makes things almost impossible to get it with true quality. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to bring you that quick video on the Hobble training process, why we do it, where it came from, and the benefits we see in it. We understand that this is a controversial topic for a lot of people. It's not something that everyone is very well educated on, and it's something that we want to dive into and kind of open up, because while on the surface it might seem a bit rudimentary, there's a lot that actually goes into it. And when you really start to experiment with it and really start to see all the benefits that are there to benefit these horses, it's truly incredible how something so simple can be so impactful on a horse's life. And it really does change the horse that we have for the better. So anyway, guys, my name is Colton Woods of Colton Woods Horsemanship. Thanks for tuning in. If you guys have any questions about the Hobble training process or about anything you heard in this video, be sure to put them down in the comments below. Like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you guys next time.